Okay, good afternoon. I was starting this recording, and this is how we start with City Circus from Marc Shaiman, the Rare Side Band cassette release, with Jimmy Durante included, and the James Ingram and credit ballad. This being a 90s comedy. Fun score. You want something not that much fun. Here's music for a few good men. The album program wasn't very satisfying, but it was so short, but at least I got this only for 50p. This is the Columbia cassette release, with his scoring sharing space with Willie Mae, Big Mama Thornton, with Hound Dog, and Stars and Stripes Forever. Well, as far as one of the dramatic scores go, it's not as good as Misery, which really gave him good opportunities. But anyway, and there's this, which I didn't think was very funny. Maybe because I'm not old enough to get it. Anyway, this big screen cassette release has fair amount of his scoring with a bunch of tunes from the period from Louis Armstrong and Lee Prima and Billy Crystal as well. It's not nothing really to feel at me, but But that has been the end of Marc Shaiman. This gets us to Jonathan Sheffer with the music he did for this comedy remake, using a theme by Danny Elfman. Obviously, he could or wouldn't do the movie itself. So Jonathan Sheffer got to score this, although Elfman still gets credited on the side of the thing, along with Jonathan Sheffer. I found the film amusing. But this was a lot more amusing. Mrs. Doubtfire from Howard Shore with some Figaro with a mashup of opera and Papa's Got a Brand New Bag to end the album. So it's very light and tuneful. So it's too bad he probably doesn't play this in concert. It's a long way from. I forgot to mention this is the Fox Records cassette release. And therefore, to change the subject drastically, Howard Shore's score for Philadelphia. The score album has some opera pieces on it, Yes, because you all know all game and opera, which was one of the troublesome aspects of the movie. Although it did get Bruce Springsteen an Oscar for his song. He Shaw had a score track on the song album as well. I think it's included here under another name, but I can't tell what it is. I mean, the film was alright, if flawed, but well, it's kind of problematic, but the music's alright. This isn't too bad either. Approach to a Kiss. First music for this film adaptation of the play. With Meg Ryan shared a career of these. Now, the Milan release has some of Shaw scoring plus songs as well. Let's see. I'll show them there. With Deborah Harris doing Prelude to a Kiss. I'm sorry. And you also get Waiting for Someone, sung by Frank Carrillo and Ellie Goulding. It seems to be written for the movie, because it's published by TCF Music Publishing. As it ends with The Divine Hours Touch Myself. That's a nice mixture. I don't think I quite got on. I don't remember if I liked the movie or not. I'm not sure if I did. And of course, this he had a lengthy suite on the TVT soundtrack album. All very hard going, but that's a good score, but for a tough movie. Not one it's a good movie, but I'm very happy never seeing it again. But the mix of music here, the Statler Brothers, Gravity Kills, Marvin Gaye, Gloria Lynn, some Bach, Haircut 100, Billy Holiday, Charlie Parker, Thelonious Monk, and 2 tracks from Howard Shaw's score, Portrait of John Doe and Sweet from the 7. Very broody, helping to pretty much define how Serial Killers was scored, along with Silence of the Lambs. The European cassette release of MCA. I bought the Quartet expanded release as well. It's very uncomfortable. It's very tough listening. Very heavy, edgy. But still, very. I did like outside the film, and I like outside the film as well. It's a hardly relaxing listening, but good. That's a good thing. The Lord of the Rings, in short, he wouldn't be pigeonholed as the serial killer guy. That's the end of the end of the Howard Shaw here. So, okay, the Abyss. The European Versa band release on cassette, which my younger sister Zita bought for me while I was living in Barbados, and she was working in Spain before she moved to England. Well, she was living in England and working in Spain. Not so much. Anyway, she bought me the soundtrack when I first saw the movie and greatly enjoyed it. The great core work as well. And I bought the 2 CD expanded edition. One thing that remembers me was probably the only first time I saw speed up credits in cinema. There's so many people working on it. You had to sort of put all the credits in columns and speed them up so to make her a bit shorter, I guess. It didn't quite work, you know. But a much worse film from Sylvester, yeah. I saw my Zita bought me this on vinyl. Was sent it got it for me when it came out, because I was hoping that some of the rousing orchestral music from the film would be on the soundtrack. So, obviously it wasn't. It's heavy on the songs, with loads of Andy Taylor. Let's see the artists are. I can't remember him offhand. Here. John Paul, Mr. In Excess, Stevie Nicks, Graham Nash, Andy Taylor, Chris Thompson, Andy Taylor again, and you finally get to Sylvester synthesizer tracks. Arthur's theme, which was the theme for the wheelchair-bound brother of one of the main characters, who was a musician, and he wrote for Julie's gymnastics routine. It's called Julie's theme on the soundtrack. It's diegetic music in the film, but the film was utter rubbish. I'll take it worse. I had to see it through this twice, because when we went to see Dirty Dancing for Driving, this was a supporting feature under its international release title of Take It Easy. It wasn't great sitting through it again. Anyway, so if it says ever an actual score release from this, I'll be sure to snap it up. Soundtrack came out at Atlantic Cassette and Atlantic Records, and the film was a colossal flop instantly. But really, if you want, as far as drama and gymnastics goes, the best half of any given episode of Make It or Break It. Even ones that kind of camera. Okay, moving on. Back to the Future Part 3. The rest of the cassette release. Yeah, sadly they couldn't license some ZT Top version, ZT Top song, which is why I guess they have the Sylvester rearranged instrumental version. Great fun, and I do have the expanded release of this as well. Also, I used to have Back to the Future on cassette, and Back to the Future Part 2 on cassette. But well, Back to the Future became unplayable, so I eventually bought the CD of the soundtrack. And Back to the Future Part 2 had an incredibly defective makeup, which means that I bought 2 copies of the cassette, and they both defective in the same way. So I went to hang out and just buy the CD. I mean, how do you pull this off at AMC? Seriously. Anyway. All the expanded Back to the Futures are always in the CD cabinet. I also moving on to Cat's Eye. This is the Versa band release, originally released on cassette. I also bought the expanded release, which was welcome when this became unplayable. That becomes also in the Versa band cassette release. The European one thereof. Not a big fan of the film, but I do enjoy the music. Even John Meryl Streep's song. Okay. Father of the Bride, which could be described as the whitest film ever made. I didn't really enjoy it too much, to be honest. I don't know. No. I mean, there's no problem with the music, but when I came back for Part of the Bride Part 2, which got released on Hollywood Records on cassette. It's not exactly a masterpiece, but it's pleasant enough. I could do without some of the songs on the film itself. I don't know. But something much better now. The score album of Forrest Gump. The Epic Soundtracks cassette release. The delightful listen. And something like, but if it could be expanded, I seriously buy it. Not you? What's good? Not this stuff. Okay. My stepbrother is an alien. Which actually I quite enjoyed. I actually quite fairly enjoyed the film, and I don't think it's not bad either. A fair amount of Western music on side 2. Enjoy and Castron and The Celeste. They're all on side 2, along with an embarrassing song from Dan Aykroyd and Pump Up the Volume from Mars. On side 1 is An Emotion Zoom to Move, that great 80s band. And the end credit song, Not Just Another Girl by Ivan Neville. And Jackie Jackson, cameo, and Simon And it's the Polydor released first on cassette and CD, and of course, yeah, formats at that time. And finally, this is the silver screen UK release of No Mercy. We licensed it from TVT in the UK. So this one, and because of ICM problems with Warner Brothers, the Michael McDonald song that ends the film, and that was on the original release of the soundtrack, isn't on the UK release. So instead, we sort of have they repeat the main title at the end and call it main title reprise. So how it was to penultimate to the final score cue. What do you say? So it's all substitutes for Michael McDonald. I still think it's a bit of a Swiss though. So first, so I can track down on the TVT release of this on CD or somewhere, just to get the proper experience. Ugh. And Birdman picks up. Yes, I got Bird 2, making back to UK. This is the I think this is the Consumer Sharp Pattern licensed release from that's right. With the usual luxuriant packaging. And of course I bought the expanded edition. I hate the film, but I don't hate the music. Now Ricochet, it kind of took me a while to warm to. I'm not sure about it in the film, but I eventually did get the soundtrack album. I actually good to like it. Especially Blake gets the point. And the creation of the Silver Pictures logo music was nice as well. Although I still like the release of Michael Kamen's Silver Pictures music. That's how that happened. Okay, the original Milan cassette release of Shattered. I did buy the Intrider expansion, but unfortunately I can't play it yet. Because I only play my albums in the order in which they arrived. I still have quite a backlog to catch up. So I don't bounce things apprehend the queue unless they gifts from my family. Sorry. Okay. Soap dish. The original West Side Band is on cassette. The only time out of history it has seriously gotten into the Star Trek universe, thanks to a piece of this getting tracked into one of the most Next Generation movies. I can't remember which one it was now. Was it First Contact? Anyway, it's a great fun. It's a great fun to sit through. Even if there are a few things that are a bit problematic these days. If you've seen the film, I think you know what I'm talking about. Also, who also, I bought the Quartet expanded release service as well. I checked to see if submissions on Paramount Plus I could do with watching that again. I know that Laird Martin said that two seasons is a funnier soap, at least comedy, but then, you know, there was some very strange opinions in his guide, to be quite honest. Anyway, there are, the cassette soundtrack release of Who Framed Roger Rabbit on I think it's CBS Records, but the label's not on the side for some reason. Yes, CBS Discs. This is printed. Yeah, CBS Records. I'm surprised that was Hollywood Records around? I think Hollywood Records was around when this film came out, was it? It's strange that they didn't do the soundtrack. Anyway, I'm being really disappointed on buying this and finding that the end titles weren't on here. It's a good listen and a great movie as well. I think we can all be thankful that it was like it's never got to the sequel. He probably have tried to go mocap. I missed the point entirely. No to do. And yes, I do have the Entrada on 3 CD edition, of course. And finally, Balance of History. We have this. I bought this album expressly for the Balance of History track, Guano City. Although it does do arrangements, or it does do the string arrangements on one of the songs. Well, of course, I did buy the Entrada score release. Obviously, that's stupid. Yeah, this John Bon Jovi set was on Vertigo. I think this is the Polygon Records via Vertigo. You know, it was the best thing about the movie, quite frankly. Okay, moving away from Balance of History, I'm going to Michael Small now, with Brighton Beach Memoirs. Fun music for this Neil Simon adaptation on MCA, music release. This is the one where it talks about the golden palace of the Himalayas. Sorry. Okay, and nice light-ish gangster score. This uncalled for attempt to give the Young Guns treatments to mobsters, like Luciano. Which I mainly remember for Patrick Dempsey as well. Larry yelled to some mobsters who let him down. Sadly it's a bit too not safe for work to repeat on this video, but if you've seen the movie, you remember it. He was threatening to sleep with the guy's sisters and make his brothers into eunuchs. It was very funny. Although the film wasn't. It wasn't actually much good. It wasn't good music. Although the film was much beneath him. In fact, it was much beneath pretty much everybody in the cast. Except possibly Richard Greco. But certainly F. Murray Abraham and Laughlin Boyle. And I bought the CD of this just to illustrate how much I liked it. And I also bought the CD of this. The music for A Delightful Roxanne. Licensed for the UK by Silver Screen. Bruce Smeaton. It's a nice. Very nice, warm, summery music, really. And I bought the CD that came out of the States and CD disc as well. I've got it somewhere down there. Wait. Oh wait, got it here, hang on. No, it's not here. No. I'm sorry, I put the CD away, I'm afraid, so. Oh. Sorry. Sorry, anyway. The only other Bruce Smeaton titles I have are Iceman, his marvelous score for Iceman. Also on CD. And it's quirky effort called Wendy Cracked a Walnut. It's an Australian film starring Zara Arquette and Bruce Spence as a person who's always off around the countryside and doesn't realise she's married to Zara Arquette in the 1980s. What the hell do we? Anyway, she the film follows her daydreams as she's married to this fantasized by this strange person called this guy played by Hugo Weaving. Eventually, Bruce Spence comes back to her, presumably he realizes that his wife is 1980s with Zara Arquette. Moving away from that, Gone with the Wind. Enough said, I also had to get a copy of this. It's in the Polydor album release of the album. Not a fan of the film. On the other hand, Superman 2. Ken Thorne had to come up because we all know who John Williams couldn't come back to score this. I'm completely George. At least there's no Giorgio Moroder in this one, I think. No, that's Superman 3, which I don't have in here. Anyway, this is too wonky to play anymore, so I have to get rid of it. No, is it? No, I don't play it anymore. So I did get the the Superman 2 on the on that La La Land set release with Superman 2 and Superman 3 all together. So that's this is unnecessary now. So you can unnecessary. Chariots of Fire. It's all right, iconic and all that. Just the Polar Dog set release. I remember when there was a film music program on one of our radio stations. It was just one episode was just made up of playing this album. And that was it. Okay, something much more interesting. Shirley Walker. Very appropriate what we're doing this reading here today. So today, as I record this, is International Women's Day. So why not include the first woman to score a film based on a comic book? Sorry, putting on top black, but I know it's true. It's actually quite a good movie as well. Even if the identity of the phantasm is pretty obvious. This is the original Reprise cassette release. And I bought the La La Land expanded edition, obviously. Shirley Walker, if only she was still with us. Staying with Shirley Walker. We've got the Menan release of the time she teamed up with John Carpenter to score this flaming fire of a movie. Ugh. The Menan release of I did get the I bought the La La Land release as well. Although I'm not really a Carpenter fan. Not much of one really, but what should you get on that? And finally, I enjoyed the film despite the unconvincing effects of invisible Chevy Chase running. Remember, obviously he's on a treadmill. Good stuff. Also, Zimmer involvement. So he gets his hands aboard. This is the dying need an expanded release, obviously. So first side band can get on it. Please come on. Great stuff. And finally, one of Spielberg's most underwhelming films, I thought. Oh, I actually went to see it in the cinema. I think I was the only person there. I did buy this is a cassette release. Which a reviewer in Soundtrack magazine complained had come out incredibly late. He was complaining that MCA always hit its bets with Soundtrack's albums. And pretty much waited for the film to survive on its own merits in the marketplace for releasing an album. And it was pleasant enough, I suppose. But I really could do without the songs. All of them. Yes, I agree. I think this is the only Spielberg film with soundtrack album where there's just as much songs as score. It's kind kind of underwhelming. Or if I did buy banana release, of course. And finally, today, the magnificent Born the 4th of July. Although it's really got some, I'm sure there was a review by a Goldsmith fan who complained about the main themes within Vince to Nasandorma. Well, it's not, that does, that's her point. It's not really much of a complete rip-off, but it's familiar, but it's not really bothersome, because it is effective. And I don't even mind most of the songs. I could do that, American Pie. I can do one. Venus. I don't mind the Hard Rain is going to fall either. Wallace comes on here before we get to John Williams. Hard Rain is gonna fall by Edie Buchanan, the New Bohemians. It's recorded for this, I think. The Broken Homes, Brown Eyed Girl, again, Evan Morrison, The Full American Pie by Don McLean, Temptations, If My Girl, The Shirelles, The Soulja Boy, Funky Everyone, Venus, and him and Sini's Moon River. Despite some of those being kind of only really can do that, they go well with Williams music. And I made sure to buy the CD of this, of course. Although, seriously, I really want to expand the release of this, come on. And there'll be more John Williams tomorrow. Or whenever you watch this video. Because you reach the end of the box. We're wondering what the next subject should be, really. Any ideas? Anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow. And Birdman, I hope you got my email eventually. So if you did, you can sort of drop me a line to let me know. And all of you take care and hope the weather is not too bad where you are. Well, see you folks.